Disney is planning to continue its, I must assume at this point, much cherished box office bombing campaign with Snow White, as the actors have now declared that it will be a new Snow White for a modern-day audience. Well, is anyone shocked? Surprised even? Mildly? Is a single raised eyebrow in the audience? I somehow doubt it, as, let's have a quick listen to what the actors had to say, shall we?
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
So yeah, Snow White is not going to be saved by no prince in this flick, nor will she be a helpless heroine in distress or anything like that. She will be concerned primarily about how she can be a strong female character. Oh goody, we don't have enough of those. Oh, God help me, sweet baby Jesus. Every single female character on television, on the movies, in comic books, everywhere the last 20-odd years has been the same female character, the modern-day strong female character, which translates roughly into a undesirable, shrewish, selfish, egoistic asshole, who, for some mysterious reason, seems to charm all of the other side characters primarily by her unerring slavish devotion to dickishness. Revolutionary, absolutely. And of course, this will not be the only change either, as the 7 dwarves will, according to this rumor, no longer be dwarves at all. They will be the Bandits, and Jonathan, the male love interest who isn't a prince, is also a bandit, as the bandits are like Robin Hood stealing from the Queen to feed the poor. Please. Have this be Jonathan. Let's go all in on this. At least that would be funny, if nothing else, but okay, that's retarded. Hardly the only retarded thing, as there was also this picture floating around Twitter, and I mean, they do have a point, don't they? So, okay, let's address this for a second here, because what is actually Snow White? Because there's a point here. On the one hand, like, who the hell cares about Snow White? Who the hell cares about Disney's The Little Black Mermaid? Is this relevant in any way, really? Not actually, but the thing is that these could actually be good stories today as well. Snow White still has an audience today, and it doesn't have to be the 1937 audience, as you say here, because there are elements of Snow White that does require a little bit of modernization, like, for example, the part that when the Mirror started saying that Snow White was the fairest of all, she was 7. Which, you know, during the time when these fairy tales were actually gathered up by the Brothers Grimm, was considered fine breeding age. But obviously today. See, that is the funny part right there, because yeah, no, there are elements of ancient fairy tales that does require a little bit of updating, or the fact that in the original fairy tale, you know how they executed the evil stepmother, the evil witch lady? It was by nailing red-hot iron shoes to her feet that made her dance due to the glowing red-hot iron plates until she died from exhaustion. Old ass fairy tales, yo. They were something. They were most assuredly something. But at its core, Snow White is a story with a very particular and core audience, and that audience is young girls. It is not a movie for modern-day strong, independent women who want to run them kingdoms, yo, alongside their army of multiracial bandits. No. It is about the fantasy of a young girl. It is not a movie for men, it's not a movie for boys either. It is specifically tailored to the the opinions and the expectations and the dreamlike isekai fantasies of a young girl. And they would function today because they aim towards fairly, normal, stereotypical things. Snow White herself, for example, is a pseudo-mythical magical being. She is special from the very beginning. She doesn't have to do anything to be special. She always has been special. As of course when her mother, the queen, she pricks herself on a sewing needle or something and splatters some blood on the snow, and then she looks at the blood and goes, "Oh, I wish I had a daughter with a skin as fair as snow and lips as red as blood, etc." And then shortly thereafter, Snow White is born with those exact characteristics. She then goes on to show off all of the perfect feminine duties that a young girl might consider feminine duties. Not, strong, beat the men, but rather being kind, charitable, beloved by all, etc., beautiful, caring. These are the things. And then, of course, meeting the 7 dwarves who lack a caretaker. She's the one who cooks for them, feeds them, cleans up their shabby-ass house, etc. She is their mother figure. And then at the end, she, through no fault of her own, or no aggression whatsoever, is then poisoned by the poisonous apple by the evil stepmom, of course. She's then saved by the glorious glittering prince on a shiny white horse, and then gets to live happily ever after. It is the fairy tale ending. This is absolutely a story you could do today as well, aimed at young girls, and they would lap it up like no tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure that these values continue to be pretty damn universal, in the same way that if you show a kid an action movie, a boy that is, he'll go like, "Wow, big guns, swords, yay!" Because these are simply just the things kind of programmed into our little lizard brains, frankly. You can absolutely update that, release it today, and have it be a success. But the issue is, they're not aiming their movie at that audience. They are aiming a Snow White movie at an adult woman audience in 2023. Like, first and foremost, they'll be like, patriarchy, why are you oppressing the women? Why is there an evil woman? All she wants to be is beautiful. Oh, she's living up to the patriarchal beauty standards. And Snow White too. Why does she have to be fair as the driven snow? Actually, how are they going to do that description now? I want my daughter to be as fair as the, brown snow? That's a bit of yellow snow over there. God, okay. That's almost mean. Almost, just almost. And it'll probably be much like the Barbie movie, who has like one good opening day, and then it'll do like, drops completely off everybody's radar, because people saw it, expected for it to be something completely else, and then like, oh, well, that wasn't what I expected at all. It's dumb. And again, the only reason why they're doing it isn't to make a good product. Again, if they were going to do that, they would make the Snow White tale, but aim it at young girls, which again, you can absolutely do. I'm saying again too often. Instead, they are simply doing this to maintain their IP, to maintain their identity of Snow White, to maintain their ownership over the yellow skirt, the blue top, the little red slashes and the shoulder thingies, etc. They are doing it to maintain that so they can keep it in their parks, which is the only thing in Disney that's earning money anymore. As of course, in the Disney parks, they still have the actual OG representation of Snow White and the prince. Incidentally, another thing, in the original fairy tale, it wasn't actually the prince who saved Snow White, it was a bumbling servant who knocked something over, thereby dislodging the piece of poison apple in her throat. It was a very stupid ending, and I see why they rewrote it. Again, there is absolutely an argument to be made about updating stories. But the issue is you need to update them along the lines of what is actually appealing and good, because that definition does change over the course of hundreds of years, rather than what is politically expedient, not for your target audience, but for what you as a director wants out of the movie. That is putting yourself before the actual creation, and it will guaranteeably end in yet another enormous box office bust for Disney, who is already damn near $1 billion in the hole, but not like they can do anything at this point. Right now, they're so deep into production, they've got to shove it out the door regardless, and earn whatever it can earn. Not an enviable position, but hopefully one that will teach Disney a lesson or two, as they do appear to be taking a few notes recently, but yes. Snow White and the 7 not at all dwarfs, but rather vile communist bandits will be flopping in the movie cinemas near you at some point in the near future. Even though I am sure you don't actually care about that. Heaven help me. Although, you know, some nice dwarf on fully adult woman action could be, if nothing else, a noteworthy deviation from the usual romantic formula. Yeah, hey, I'm not lying. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and have a good day.